The unit will arrive on a crate partially assembled. Refer to the uncrating video for more details. Once the unit is uncrated, make sure it is free from the shipping materials. Remove packaged hardware and place to the side. To install the ground speed control levers, first place the left and right handles onto the unit with the lever base pointed toward the rear of the machine. Control levers should be mounted to the outside of the base arm. Before tightening the hardware all the way, make sure both control levers are aligned. You can now tighten each bolt. After you unpack the seat, install it on the seat mount plate. Hand tighten the 4 nuts to get the seat positioned. Tighten and secure the mounting hardware and connect the wire harness to the seat switch, located at the bottom of the seat. Make sure that the latch is clipped onto the switch lock. If it is not correctly connected, the engine will shut down when the parking brake is disengaged. Before installing, make sure that no fuel lines, cables, parts of the wire harness, obstructions, or foreign objects are in the way of the roll bar pockets. Make sure the rubber pivot blocks are installed into the top of the roll bar posts. The holes in the pivot block will align with the holes in the roll bar post. Ensure they are pointed toward the rear of the unit. Use a 1/2 inch by 3 1/4 inch bolt, washer, and nut to hold the roll bar posts in place, but leave this hardware loose. Next, assemble the top loop to the left upright tube and the right upright tube by loosely installing the 1/2 inch bolts and washers through the holes of the top loop assembly, the roll bar posts, and the retainer pin assemblies. Then loosely install the 1/2 inch hex lock nuts. Now, tighten the hardware that secures the roll bar post to the frame of the unit to 82 foot-pounds of torque, or 108 Newton meters. Then, tighten the hardware that secures the top loop to the roll bar posts to 30 foot-pounds of torque, or 41 Newton meters. The top loop should pivot snugly. If it doesn't, loosen or tighten the hardware as needed. Put the retainer pins into the roll bar with their handles pointing up, and then rotate the pins 180 degrees so that their handles are pointing down. Install the hairpin clips into the retainer pins. Use the dipstick to check the engine oil. If necessary, add engine oil through the oil fill. Check the engine operator's manual for oil recommendations. For units with a remote oil tank, refer to the dealer setup instructions for directions. This unit is equipped with 2 transmissions and oil expansion tanks. The oil level should only be checked when the unit is cold. Both transmissions should be filled with oil up to the full cold mark. If necessary, add 20 W50 conventional detergent motor oil to the full cold mark. Now, check the unit's tire pressure. While the max inflation stamped on the tire may differ slightly, we suggest 15 psi for the back tires. These pressures help provide proper traction and extend the life of the tires. To check the mower blade bolt torque, Start by locking the mower in its highest cutting position. Check to make sure that the blades are installed with the tabs pointing up towards the deck. After that, check that a flat washer is installed between each blade and the head of its mounting bolt. Wedge a wooden block between the mower blade and the mower deck housing to keep the mower blade from turning. Torque each mower blade mounting bolt to 120 foot-pounds or 163 Newton meters. To check the inner lift rod timing, measure and record the distance between the inner lift pivots and the inner rod pivots. Repeat for the other side of the unit. To check the outer lift rod timing, measure and record the distance between the outer lift pivots and the outer rod pivots. Repeat for the other side of the unit. If the measurements for the inner rods are equal and the measurements for the outer rods are equal, no further adjustment is required. If the measurements are not within 1/8 of an inch of each other, refer to the dealer setup instructions for adjustment procedures. Now that the deck lift rod timing has been checked, lock the deck lift pedal in the transport position. Place the cutting height adjustment pin in the 4-inch position and lower the deck lift pedal until the deck lift arm contacts the cutting height adjustment pin. Verify that the mower blades are flat and not bent or broken. A bent or broken blade must be replaced. Position the outside mower's blade so they face front to back. Measure the front tip of the blade from the cutting edge to the ground. Measure the rear tip of the blade from the cutting edge to the ground. Repeat the process on the other side of the machine. The front measurements should equal 4 inches. The rear measurements should equal 4 1/4 inches. If the measurements do not equal these measurements, refer to the dealer setup instructions for details on deck leveling. To check the short right-hand deck belt, lower the mower deck to its lowest cutting position. Remove the mower deck guards and floor pan to gain access to the mower deck belts. Make sure that the V side of the short right-hand belt is in the pulley grooves of the center spindle pulley, the front idler pulley, and the right-hand spindle pulley. Make sure that the flat side of the belt contacts the face of the rear idler pulley. If the short right-hand belt is not properly seated, refer to the dealer setup instructions. Next, check the routing of the long left-hand belt. Make sure that the V side of the belt is in the pulley grooves of the left-hand spindle pulley, center spindle pulley, and the PTO clutch pulley. Make sure that the back side of the belt contacts the face of the adjustable idler pulley. Make sure that the belt is correctly routed in the belt guides. If the long left-hand belt is not properly seated, refer to the dealer setup instructions. After you've confirmed proper installation of drive belts, reinstall the mower deck guards and the floor pan. To ensure smooth operation and longevity, it is important to apply the proper amount of oil and grease to certain designated areas. The mower deck spindles, mower deck rear pusher bars, deck lift pivot blocks, deck lift linkage adjusters, transmission cradle pivot points, and front caster wheel axles and yokes should always have ample grease applied. Not all greases are compatible. The product is manufactured using heavy-duty lithium complex EP NLGI Grade 2 grease. Using non-compatible grease could damage or cause premature parts failures. In addition, oil should be applied to the discharge chute hinge, deck lift rod pivots, deck lift linkage pivots, seat plate pivots, and control handle pivots. Generally, all moving metal parts should be oiled where contact is made with other parts. To add fuel, simply remove the fuel cap and fill just below the bottom of the fuel tank neck. Once filled, reinstall the fuel cap. Repeat this process to fill the other fuel tank. Using the seat latch, raise the seat to reveal the battery housing. Carefully connect the red positive battery cable to the positive battery post, making sure that the cable boot completely covers the positive terminal. Then, connect the black negative battery cable to the negative battery post. Now, it's time to test the engine and confirm everything has been assembled properly. Refer to the dealer setup instructions for specific starting procedures for different engines. This video reviews the starting procedures for fuel-injected models. While sitting in the operator's seat, ensure that the ground speed control levers are locked in the neutral position, the parking brake is engaged, and the PTO switch is disengaged. Insert the key into the ignition switch and turn it to the start position. The throttle will self-adjust to idle when starting. After the engine starts, allow the engine to warm up for 1 minute before engaging the PTO switch or driving the unit. After warming the engine, always operate the unit at the fast position when mowing. After assembly, it is important to perform safety checks. If the unit does not pass a test, do not operate the unit. Begin with the functional tests. 1. Check the unit for loose bolts, screws, nuts, etc. 2. Start the engine and check all the controls for proper operation: ground speed control levers, parking brake, throttle cable, electric PTO clutch, etc. 3. Stop the engine and check for fluid leaks, oil, fuel, and hydraulic oil. 4. If any control fails to operate properly during testing or seems to be out of adjustment, check and readjust it according to the adjustment procedures in the dealer setup instructions. Refer to the dealer setup instructions for operational safety checks.